Hello, my dear brothers and sisters, and I warmly welcome you all to a new episode. Before we proceed with the story, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you receive notifications for all my videos. Now, let's begin today's story. In Ranchi, there is a place called Kokar. Though it is an industrial area, there is also a residential section nearby. Ranchi is the capital of Jharkhand, and the city's development is progressing rapidly. On the road from Kokar Chowk to Kantatoli, there is a housing society known as Rivers Apartment. It is a tall and magnificent building, and as expected, if the building is grand, its residents must also be influential people. In this very Rivers Apartment, in flat number 1002, lived Dr. Sukant Sarkar with his family. Dr. Sarkar was not only a doctor but also a retired army officer, which earned him immense respect. He had a good reputation in society. One reason for this was his friendly and social nature. He respected everyone, whether young or old. His warm personality made him approachable, and he often engaged in conversations with people. Because of this, he was highly regarded in the community. Dr. Sarkar had a son named Sumit Sarkar, who worked at a high position in a prestigious company in Noida. Sumit had purchased a house in Noida, so Dr. Sarkar and his wife would often divide their time between Ranchi and Noida. This back and forth between the two cities was a routine part of their lives. Most importantly, they lacked nothing in terms of wealth or comfort. In 2006, Dr. Sarkar arranged an extravagant wedding for his son Sumit, who married Madhumita, a well-educated and cultured woman from Kolkata. She was a perfect daughter-in-law, managing the household seamlessly. The family was small, just 4 members, all educated and well-settled. Madhumita proved to be a loving and respectful wife and daughter-in-law. Not just her husband, but even her in-laws adored and respected her, treating her like their own daughter. Over time, Madhumita took charge of household decisions. However, she was careful never to do anything that would hurt her in-laws or any family member. Sometimes she lived with her in-laws in Ranchi, and other times she stayed with her husband in Noida. A few years later, she gave birth to a daughter, whom they named Shamita. Everything in the family was going well. It was a small but happy household. But on October 9, 2016, from this very Rivers Apartment, flat number 1002, Dr. Sukant Sarkar's residence, came shocking news. She stepped outside, and the shocking news spread like wildfire. 5 people were found dead in Sukant Sarkar's flat, and he was critically injured. The victims included Sukant Sarkar's 60-year-old wife, Anjana Sarkar, his 35-year-old son, Sumit Sarkar, his nephew's wife, Momita Sarkar, his son's daughter, Shamita, and his nephew's daughter, Sumita. The sudden deaths of 5 family members and the severe injuries of the head of the household sent shockwaves not only through the apartment complex, but across the entire city of Ranchi. Anyone who heard about the incident was left stunned. It was a tragic and horrifying event. The gruesome discovery was made when the police arrived at the apartment. But who informed the police? It was Sukant Sarkar's nephew, who lived in the same city. He first tried calling his uncle, but there was no response. Concerned, he then dialed other family members, but none of them answered. At first, he thought someone might just be busy, but when no one in the house picked up the phone, his worry deepened. Unable to shake off his anxiety, he rushed to his uncle's flat. Upon arrival, he found the door locked from the inside. He rang the bell, no answer. He knocked, still no response. His concern turned into fear. Without wasting time, he called the police. As soon as the police were informed, officers from Sadar police station rushed to Rivers Apartment, flat number 1002. They forced open the door, and what they saw inside was terrifying. Inside one of the rooms lay 5 lifeless bodies, Sukant's son, his wife, his nephew's wife, and 2 little girls. Strangely, there were no visible injury marks on their bodies. In another room, Sukant Sarkar was found alive, but barely breathing. He was severely wounded, covered in blood, with a large knife lying next to him, its blade smeared in crimson. It was evident that he had been stabbed multiple times. The police wasted no time and rushed Sukant to the hospital, hoping he might survive if treated in time. However, after battling between life and death for a while, he too succumbed to his injuries. Now the death toll stood at 6 members of the same family. The crime scene was meticulously examined. The forensic team was called in to collect all possible evidence. The 5 bodies were sent for post-mortem, and the police eagerly awaited the report, as it would reveal how they had died. When the post-mortem report arrived, the findings were shocking. The 5 deceased family members had been given a lethal overdose of drugs and poisoned. The only one who had suffered physical injuries was Sukant Sarkar. His body bore 14 deep stab wounds. This explained why he was the last to die, despite being taken to the hospital. The police began interrogating the relatives. During the investigation, an important detail came to light. At the time of the massacre, Madhumita Sarkar, the wife of Sumit Sarkar, was in Noida. This was the only reason she survived. Her husband, however, was in Ranchi and did not escape his fate. While searching the flat, the police uncovered crucial documents that suggested the family had been troubled by harassment from the daughter-in-law. Statements from relatives confirmed this suspicion. As the investigation deepened, an even more bizarre and shocking story emerged. What exactly happened in the Sarkar household? What led to this horrifying tragedy? Stay tuned as we unravel the chilling truth behind the Ranchi mass murder case. She had brought immense happiness into this home because Madhumita had proven to be an excellent daughter-in-law. She was caring, always listening to everyone, and looking after each member of the family. In return, the entire household adored her. Her behavior and manners won over the Sarkar family, who cherished her deeply. Madhumita had a younger sister, Momita, who lived in an ashram in Kolkata as their mother was no longer alive. When Madhumita informed her in-laws about this and requested to bring her sister home, they could not refuse. Since Madhumita had already established herself as an ideal daughter-in-law, they agreed and welcomed Momita like their own daughter. With her in-laws' permission, Madhumita brought Momita home. Momita would sometimes stay in Ranchi and sometimes in Noida with her sister and brother-in-law. Over time, she too won over the Sarkar family with her manners and behavior. She became so beloved that the family decided to make her their daughter-in-law. As a result, Sukant Sarkar arranged Momita's marriage with his nephew, Parthiv Sarkar. Thus, Momita became the second daughter-in-law of Sukant Sarkar's household. Though married to Parthiv, she mostly lived with Sukant Sarkar's family, as Parthiv resided separately. Occasionally, he would visit his uncle's house, and at times Momita would stay with him. However, she spent most of her time with Sukant Sarkar's family. Now the family comprised 7 members: Sukant Sarkar, his wife Anjana, their son Sumit, 2 daughters-in-law and their respective daughters. As time passed, the family started favoring Momita more. She was loved, cared for, and given more importance than Madhumita. Comparisons between the 2 sisters, now sisters-in-law, began. Madhumita started feeling jealous, as Momita had won everyone over with her kindness and dedication. She was always available for everyone, proving the saying true: hard work earns love, not just appearances. This growing favoritism gave rise to hatred between the 2 sisters, now rivals. The rift gradually engulfed the entire family. Overcome by jealousy, Madhumita accused her husband and her own sister of having an illicit affair. But she did not stop there. She went on to claim that Momita was also involved with her father-in-law, Sukant Sarkar. Such grave allegations against a respectable family shook them to the core. As if that weren't enough, Madhumita frequently threatened to file a dowry harassment case against them. NGOs and women's rights organizations also started issuing warnings, cautioning the family against troubling her. The Sarkar family was intimidated by these threats, and police visits became frequent. Sometimes the police tried to mediate, but other times they accused the family of mistreating their daughter-in-law. The situation worsened when family members were humiliated at the police station, where they had to endure public disgrace. Madhumita filed multiple cases against her husband, mother-in-law, and father-in-law, including accusations of dowry harassment and domestic abuse. The Sarkar family felt helpless. No one believed their side of the story. Mentally exhausted, they had no idea what to do. Whenever they confronted Madhumita, asking why she was doing this, she never provided a clear answer. The once ideal daughter-in-law had turned the family's life upside down, making it unbearable. This chaos culminated in a tragic event on October 9, 2016, when 6 family members chose to end their lives together. The day before, Sukant Sarkar had hinted at taking an extreme step if the situation did not change, but no one imagined the horror that was to come. Nobody expected that 6 lifeless bodies would be discovered in the house the next day. During the police investigation, documents recovered from the house revealed the reason behind the deaths. All the blame pointed towards Madhumita. The evidence suggested that the entire family had taken this drastic step because of the torment inflicted by her. In his final act, Sukant Sarkar administered an overdose of anesthetic injections to all the members, including the children, ensuring none survived. Afterward, he inflicted 14 stab wounds on himself. Further police investigation, including statements from relatives and acquaintances, confirmed that Madhumita was responsible for the tragedy. The torment she had subjected the family to had driven them to take their own lives. Subsequently, police filed a case against her for abetment to suicide and launched a search for her in Noida, where she was last known to reside. However, she had already fled. Over the years, the case remained unresolved. At times, the investigation stalled, while at other times authorities conducted raids in Noida in search of Madhumita. The only address they had was from Noida, making the search difficult. Eventually, in June 2023, police received a confirmed tip about her whereabouts in Kolkata. With this information, Ranchi police arrested her. She was first presented in a Kolkata court and then transferred to Ranchi on transit remand. After being produced in the Ranchi civil court, she was sent to jail. Currently, the police are also investigating the role of an NGO head, Geetali Chandra, to determine whether she had any involvement in the case. Friends, this was today's story. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We'll be back with another story soon. Until then, stay safe and take care. Thank you.